Okay, so this is a precursor video actually starts. This is the next day after I filmed the initial video, and you'll see at the end of this video what the microgreen state is at, and this is within 1 day how much these have exploded. I'm sorry, but this light, the Mars Hydro TS1000, it is impressive. I've never seen that before. Truly never seen this unless if it's outside, but like, that's wild. Okay, let's get to the video. Hello Canadian gardeners, cold climate gardeners, and gardeners of the extremes. How are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and I am a soil scientist. On this channel, we take that science and we apply it to gardening and plant care. So if you like the sounds of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and join our awesome crew. As you guys know, Mars Hydro has sponsored me and sent me a tent and a whole lighting setup. So while I'm waiting for your guys' ideas to file in as to what experiments we should perform with the light, I thought we could do a really short-term experiment just because I'm excited to see how this light does. And so we are going to do microgreens. In this video, we're going to go over exactly what microgreens are versus sprouts. The difference between baby sprouts and microgreens is, that's probably a new one, and exactly how I'm going about growing my microgreens. I watched some videos and kind of watched what people do that professionally grow microgreens, and I just immediately thought, well, this is just extra. This is just insane what they're doing. So I did my own version. We'll see how it turns out. We're getting a little bit farther along in the process. We're about 4 days into the microgreen process, and it's working wonders. I haven't seen some of the issues I've seen other professional microgreen growers run into with mine, and I'll share with you what I think the average microgreen grower is doing wrong, and you guys can let me know what your opinions on it are, or if you think I'm totally out to lunch or not. Let's get into the video. So we have 3 different versions technically when it comes to kind of the sprouts, microgreens, and baby greens variety. First one, sprouts, is seeds that are sprouted. There's no cotyledons yet, and they're consumed within 2 to 5-ish days. And it comes down to the actual seed itself. So there's 2 different types of sprouts you can purchase, broader term sprouts you can purchase. One is a monocot, the other is a dicot. What you're eating when you're eating sprouts is you're just eating the embryo. That means that there's really nothing in there other than some negligible amounts of micronutrients, but it's mostly just starchy. I'll pop up a photo of exactly what it looks like, but you're essentially just eating that inner portion once it sprouts. They are very crunchy, and that is atypical for this because that is the part of the seed that needs to bust out of the shell and begin the life cycle of a plant. Microgreens are grown in soil, so they are the same seeds that are essentially laid out on a soil base and they're allowed to at least get their cotyledons. The difference between the two, there might be, slightly more nutrients in a microgreen versus a sprout, but the huge difference comes in the taste. So you're going to get more of a spice, more of a texture or a flavor to a microgreen versus a sprout, and that just has to do with the fact that you now have foliage. And on the foliage, you have mechanisms starting to grow, such as the little hairs you see on tomatoes. That's a great example. Those little fingers are technically an organ that releases scent, which gives the tomato plant its smell. And you're starting to get more into the hormonal side of the plant, so you're just going to start getting the flavors and just the natural effervescence of the plant, and that just has to do with the natural smell the plant emits to ward off predators, which is typically why plants have different smells and different flavors. Baby sprouts. So I feel like microgreens and baby sprouts get intermingled a lot. Microgreens you'd eat once the cotyledons kind of flesh out, and then that would be it. Baby sprouts you're starting to eat once the first true leaves come through. So that is the leaf that comes out from between the 2 circular discs in a Dicot seed, and once you get past one single blade on a monocot and you start seeing extra blades of, say, grass, for example, that would be a monocot. So that, again, would be, you're getting more into the baby greens range of the whole thing. So something like the grass that you eat and you take the shots of, what is it? I can't remember. I'm literally growing it behind me, but that grass that you eat, that would technically be a baby green. It wouldn't be technically a microgreen because you're way past just the single cotyledon stage. You're getting into first true leaves and things like that. So that's fun fact. Don't take me for it. It's just a fact. That's what it is. It's a baby sprout. It's not a microgreen at that point. So the seeds I decided to use were Mums. It is a Canadian brand. They're based in Saskatchewan. I've heard really good reviews about their products, and I'm actually really impressed with their quality assurance and just kind of the level of care that they put into their products. So I'll leave a link down below if you're looking to buy a Canadian brand that is fully organic and is basically run by a family. So far, the germination rates and the stuff I've been seeing is phenomenal. So from what I can tell, it's going great so far. So I fully recommend their product. So starting it. So I completely went full scientist on this. I ignored every recommendation of basically everyone who professionally grows microgreens. What I used peat moss. There's no perlite, there's no nothing in it. It's straight peat moss. That is it, that is all. I put it in a tray, I kind of packed it down, and then what I did is I put Dr. Bronner's unscented soap. Oh no. I put that soap on the surface. I did a very tiny little slick down the center, and the reason for that is peat moss is really bad at taking on water until a surfactant is added. So castile soap is a really great surfactant, and so I put it in there. You do not have to do this. If you have patience, then you can just wait it out and wait for the water to soak in, and you can just naturally do your thing. But I'm impatient. Comes with the territory of my hair color. So I put some castile soap on and I soaked that guy up, and it does not affect your seedlings or germination rate. I can promise you that. I actually use this in the garden too. If I'm adding compost, manure, or peat moss, because it has a hydrophobic quality to it, I always add like a castile soap because it just helps break down the bonds that are causing the hydrophobic effect and just allows the water to penetrate the profile. Very simple, and it works quick, and I don't have to sit there with a rake endlessly raking back and forth. And it, again, if you add a small amount, it does not affect your germination rates or any of your plants. Then I put my seeds on top and I misted the seeds. Then I did not put a cover on. I keep seeing them put trays on top of the trays, and the reason why I didn't do this is because the moment you do that, what a seedling's gonna do is those cotyledons, once they come out, monocot or dicot, it's just gonna reach, and it's gonna reach for any light it can find. It could be the smallest little crack. If it can find it, it is headed that direction. So that means all these seedlings in the middle of your tray are gonna be really leggy, or in certain places they're gonna be leggy. So just leave the tray tops off and just let the cotyledons do their things. If they're just getting ambient light, they're gonna pop themselves the upright direction. You're not gonna have to worry about leggy seedlings or lower germination rates. Just keep the tray off the top. That's just my opinion. Plus you get airflow, so you're less likely to get mold, etc. and so forth. My personal opinion, that's what I did, and it worked wonderfully. Seed sensitivity. So I'll show you what stage mine are at. I have the lights on them right now. I didn't have the lights on them till they sprouted, but once they sprouted, I put light on them. People will say that the UV or the grow light will affect the seedling or it'll burn it, which may be true if you have it too close. For sure, you could run into that issue. But I mean, if you have it relatively far away or a super intense light, you're not gonna run into that. Mine I have lifted literally probably 3 feet above the actual seedlings right now, and I'm having zero issues. There's zero burning, nothing like that, and everyone's standing pretty straight up and no one's too laggy or anything crazy. So let's take a look at the Mars Hydro tent and the light that they sent me, which is the TS1000. I'll leave a link in the description below if you guys want to buy this light and try it out along with me. Like I said, they have sponsored me and I'm super excited to check out how this light works. And so far I'm incredibly impressed with just the microgreens. I actually have my wheatgrass. That's what it's called. I have my wheatgrass underneath my T5s, and then I have 2 other varieties in the actual grow tent, and I want to just show you guys the difference in what the seeds are doing. It's really drastic how great the Mars Hydro light is at growing microgreens. I'm thoroughly impressed, and it costs nearly nothing to run. It's literal like dollars and cents a month. It's just insane. My T5s generally are about $15 a month. This is under $5 for a whole month. I'm just mind completely blown. So let's go check out the tent and the T5 and I'll show you the difference. Okay, so these are under my T5 lights, which are my classic lights. And as you can see, we have like a little bit of leaning happening here, which I mean is expected. My seedlings normally do this anyways, but I just want to show you the difference between this and then see how they're kind of pointing. They're all pointing that direction, which is towards underneath these 2 lights here. So let's go check out the LED. And this is the Mars Hydro tent. I am so impressed with this thing. It is literally insane how good this thing is. The quality is just, it's next level. It's like a fishing shack. If you've ever experienced a fishing shack, it's exactly what it feels like. So let's check out the Mars Hydro light. So this is a 3-foot pattern, which is what the bottom of this is. I'm in love with this tray at the bottom. It helps keep the mess of watering and just dealing with plants in general down quite significantly. So, and still silent. It's still so quiet, and it just, there's no heat really at all coming off this product. It's really nice and cool, which is really good because we're not going to get any bolting with this. So check that out. So these guys over here are the radishes, and then this side is like a lettuce mix. So the reason I chose the lettuce mix to show you guys is because it's got a mix of monocots and dicots in the package. So I just want to show you, once these do grow fully, the difference in harvesting and how you would harvest a mixed tray. And then this tray, this is not mold. These are the root hairs. So I didn't put a layer of soil over top. Maybe that's what I should have done, but I didn't. And so the roots are just kind of exposed, which is fine. I mean, whatever. And as you can see, I am not a patient person. I just didn't even bother trying to get that. But these are the radishes. And again, like, oh my God, look how nice. This light has managed to make like a tough, like they just bounce right back. There's no legginess. They're not reaching. They're just nice, firm. Oh, they're doing so well. So I'm so impressed with this light. So you guys, make sure you drop in the comments below what you want to see this grow tent do, because I do want to try experiments, but I just don't know what you guys want to see. What does a Canadian want to see when it comes to this sort of stuff? I don't know. A lettuce bar, a herb bar, pepper plant, tomato plant. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, you obviously enjoy me, so hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.